Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, opening your refrigerator, and looking at one of the most misunderstood foods in history. An ordinary egg. For decades, millions of people over the age of 50 believed eggs were dangerous. You may remember hearing the same advice: don't eat too many eggs, they'll raise your cholesterol, they're bad for your heart, for years. This message was repeated by television, newspapers, magazines, and even healthcare professionals. As a result, countless families removed eggs from their breakfast tables. Some people stopped eating them completely. Others limited themselves to just 1 or 2 eggs a week, believing they were protecting their health. But here's the question: what if that advice wasn't the full story? What if one of the foods people feared the most actually contains nutrients your body may need even more after the age of 50? Today, nutrition science looks very different than it did 30 or 40 years ago. Researchers now understand far more about cholesterol, protein, healthy aging, and how the human body actually responds to food. That doesn't mean every old recommendation was wrong. It simply means science continues to improve and our understanding improves with it. In this video, we're going to separate myths from facts. We'll explore what modern research says about eggs, who should eat them, who should be careful, the healthiest way to prepare them, and why so many nutrition experts have changed the way they talk about this simple breakfast food. Before you throw eggs out of your diet or start eating more of them, you deserve to know what the latest evidence actually says. Because one simple misunderstanding could change the way you think about breakfast forever. And what researchers discovered about cholesterol completely changed this conversation. For decades, eggs carried a reputation that frightened millions of families around the world. If you grew up hearing that eggs were bad for your heart, you're certainly not alone. Many people were told that eating too many eggs would clog their arteries, raise their cholesterol, and eventually lead to heart disease. Because of those warnings, breakfast tables began to change. Eggs disappeared, low-fat cereals became popular, and countless adults believed they were making the healthiest possible choice. At the time, doctors and researchers were working with the best scientific evidence available. Nutrition science was still evolving, and understanding how cholesterol affected the human body was far more limited than it is today. But here's where the story becomes interesting. As larger and better designed studies were published over the following decades, scientists started noticing something they hadn't fully understood before. For many healthy adults, the cholesterol you eat doesn't automatically translate into dangerously high blood cholesterol. Instead, your body carefully regulates how much cholesterol it produces. When dietary cholesterol increases, the liver often adjusts by producing less. Researchers also discovered that other lifestyle factors frequently have a much greater impact on heart health: highly processed foods, excess saturated fat, smoking, physical inactivity, poor sleep, chronic stress, obesity, and uncontrolled diabetes. That doesn't mean eggs are perfect for everyone, and it certainly doesn't mean people should ignore medical advice. Some individuals with specific health conditions, such as certain inherited cholesterol disorders or cardiovascular disease, may still need personalized dietary recommendations. But the biggest lesson from modern nutrition science is this: Health is rarely determined by a single food. It's the overall pattern of your diet, your daily habits, and your lifestyle that matter most. That's why many nutrition experts today no longer ask, "Do you eat eggs?" Instead, they ask, "What does your entire diet look like?" And once researchers looked beyond cholesterol, they discovered something even more surprising. Eggs were providing nutrients that become increasingly important after the age of 50. After the age of 50, your body quietly begins changing in ways you may not even notice. You may feel just as energetic as you did years ago, but inside your body, something important is happening. Every year, adults naturally lose a small amount of muscle mass. This gradual process is known as age-related muscle loss, and it affects nearly everyone as they grow older. At first, the changes are almost impossible to notice. Climbing stairs feels normal, carrying groceries isn't a problem, walking around the neighborhood is still easy. But little by little, the muscles become weaker if they aren't challenged or properly nourished. One day, standing up from a chair feels slightly harder. Your balance isn't quite as steady. You feel tired more quickly than before. And many people simply assume, "I'm getting old." But aging isn't the only reason. Nutrition plays a huge role. One of the most important nutrients for maintaining muscle is protein. And eggs happen to provide one of the highest quality natural protein sources available. Each egg contains all 9 essential amino acids, the building blocks your muscles use every single day for repair and maintenance. Think of your muscles like a house. Every day, tiny repairs need to be made. If the workers never receive enough building materials, the house slowly begins to weaken. Your muscles work the same way. Without enough protein, your body has fewer resources to maintain strength. That's why many nutrition experts encourage adults over 50 to include quality protein with every meal, rather than eating most of it only at dinner. But here's something very important. Eggs are not a miracle food. They work best when combined with regular walking, strength exercises, quality sleep, and an overall balanced diet. Fish, Greek yogurt, beans, lentils, chicken, and nuts all contribute to healthy aging. Eggs are simply one valuable piece of a much bigger picture. The goal isn't to eat more eggs. The goal is to give your body the nutrition it needs to stay strong, active, and independent for as long as possible. And here's what's fascinating. The same egg that helps support your muscles also contains nutrients that may help support one of the most complex organs in your entire body, your brain. When most people think about eggs, they immediately think about protein. But surprisingly, one of the most valuable nutrients inside an egg may have nothing to do with muscles at all. It has to do with your brain. As we grow older, protecting brain health becomes one of our biggest priorities. Many adults over the age of 50 begin noticing small changes. Maybe you walk into a room and suddenly forget why you went there. Maybe someone's name is right on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't remember it. Or perhaps you simply don't feel as mentally sharp as you did 10 or 20 years ago. While occasional forgetfulness is a normal part of aging, many people wonder if nutrition can help support healthy brain function. This is where eggs become especially interesting. Egg yolks naturally contain choline, an essential nutrient that plays an important role in normal brain function and helps support communication between brain cells. In fact, many people don't consume enough choline through their daily diet. That doesn't mean eating eggs will suddenly improve your memory overnight. No single food can do that. Healthy brain function depends on many different factors working together: regular physical activity, quality sleep, managing stress, keeping your mind active, staying socially connected, and eating a balanced diet filled with nutrient-rich foods. Eggs can simply become one valuable part of that healthy pattern. Think of your brain like the engine of a car. Even the best engine needs high-quality fuel to perform at its best. Your brain works the same way. The food choices you make today may influence how well your brain performs years from now. That's why many experts encourage focusing on long-term eating habits instead of searching for miracle foods. And what's even more fascinating, the same nutrients that help support your brain may also help protect one of your most valuable senses, your eyesight. For many adults over the age of 50, this is probably the biggest question of all. Are eggs actually bad for my heart? It's a question that has confused people for decades. For years, breakfast tables changed because of one simple fear: cholesterol. Millions of people believed that eating eggs automatically meant higher cholesterol, clogged arteries, and eventually heart disease. But modern nutrition research tells a much more complete story. Scientists now understand that your body naturally produces cholesterol every single day. In fact, your liver carefully controls how much cholesterol it makes. For many healthy adults, when you eat more dietary cholesterol, your liver often responds by producing a little less. That means the relationship between eggs and blood cholesterol is much more complex than people once believed. Researchers also discovered something even more important. The biggest threats to heart health often aren't single foods like eggs, they're the habits we repeat every day. Smoking, a lack of physical activity, too many ultra-processed foods, sugary drinks, poor sleep, chronic stress, and carrying excess body weight. These factors often have a much greater impact on long-term heart health. This doesn't mean everyone should eat unlimited eggs. If you've been diagnosed with heart disease, diabetes, familial hypercholesterolemia, or another medical condition, your doctor may recommend a personalized eating plan that's right for you. But for many healthy adults, eggs can absolutely fit into a balanced diet. The real question isn't, did you eat eggs this morning? The better question is, what does your entire lifestyle look like? Because one healthy breakfast cannot cancel out months of unhealthy habits. And one egg won't determine your future. Your daily routine will. And speaking of daily routines, there's another reason eggs have become so popular among nutrition experts. They may help you stay full longer, making healthy weight management much easier after 50. Have you ever noticed something interesting? Some breakfasts leave you feeling hungry again within an hour, while others keep you satisfied until lunchtime. The difference often isn't the amount of food, it's the type of food. After the age of 50, maintaining a healthy weight becomes more challenging for many people. Your metabolism naturally slows down, muscle mass gradually decreases. Hormonal changes may affect appetite, and staying active can become more difficult than it once was. That's why choosing foods that help you stay satisfied becomes increasingly important. Eggs are naturally rich in high-quality protein. Protein takes longer to digest than highly refined carbohydrates, helping many people feel fuller for a longer period of time. Imagine starting your morning with a sugary pastry, sweet cereal, or a donut. You may experience a quick burst of energy, but not long afterward, your hunger often returns. Now compare that to a breakfast that includes boiled eggs, fresh vegetables, whole grain toast, and a serving of fruit. The combination of protein, fiber, and healthy nutrients can help create a more satisfying meal. This doesn't mean eggs magically cause weight loss. No single food has that power. Healthy weight management still depends on your total calorie intake, regular movement, quality sleep, stress management, and long-term consistency. But choosing filling foods may help reduce unnecessary snacking throughout the day. Small choices repeated every morning can create meaningful results over months and years. And here's something many people don't realize. Even if eggs are healthy, the way you cook them can completely change the nutritional value of your breakfast. Let's look at the healthiest ways to prepare eggs after 50. By now, you might be thinking, if eggs can be part of a healthy diet, what's the best way to cook them? Believe it or not, the answer isn't just about the egg itself. It's about everything that happens before it reaches your plate. Many people assume all egg breakfasts are equally healthy. But that's far from the truth. A simple boiled egg and a deep-fried egg served with bacon, sausage, butter-soaked toast, sugary juice, and hash browns are two completely different meals. The egg didn't suddenly become unhealthy, the meal around it changed. That's an important difference. In fact, one of the biggest nutrition mistakes people make is blaming a single food instead of looking at the entire plate. Generally speaking, boiled eggs, poached eggs, or lightly scrambled eggs cooked with a small amount of healthy oil are excellent choices for many people. These methods preserve the egg's natural nutrients without adding large amounts of unnecessary calories or unhealthy fats. Now compare that to eggs deep-fried in large amounts of butter, or paired with heavily processed meats every morning. The nutritional picture changes dramatically. Another smart habit: try adding colorful vegetables alongside your eggs. Spinach, tomatoes, bell peppers, mushrooms, or avocado. These foods add fiber, vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats that work together to create a much more balanced breakfast. The healthiest breakfast isn't about eating more eggs. It's about creating a meal that keeps you satisfied, nourishes your body, and supports your long-term health. Because healthy aging isn't built by one ingredient, it's built by consistently making better choices. And speaking of choices, there's one mistake people continue making with eggs that quietly destroys the benefits they're hoping to get. Let's talk about that next. By now, you probably understand that eggs are far more nutritious than many people once believed. But here's the surprising part. The biggest problem usually isn't eating eggs, it's how people eat them. One of the most common mistakes is pairing eggs with highly processed foods every single morning. Think about a typical restaurant breakfast: several strips of bacon, processed sausage, butter-soaked toast, hash browns, sugary ketchup, sweetened coffee drinks, and sometimes even pancakes covered in syrup. At that point, the egg isn't really the problem anymore. The rest of the meal is. Another common mistake is believing that eating more eggs automatically means better health. Nutrition doesn't work that way. Even healthy foods should be part of a balanced eating pattern. Some people also make the mistake of removing the yolk because they're afraid of cholesterol. But the yolk contains many of the egg's valuable nutrients, including choline, vitamin D, lutein, zeaxanthin, and several important vitamins and minerals. Unless your doctor has given you a specific reason to avoid egg yolks, throwing them away may mean throwing away many of the nutrients that make eggs so valuable. Another mistake: people focus so much on breakfast that they completely ignore the rest of the day. A healthy breakfast cannot cancel out a lunch full of fast food, a dinner full of ultra-processed meals, or hours spent sitting without movement. Health is never created by one meal. It's created by hundreds of small decisions repeated every day. Instead of asking, "Are eggs healthy?" try asking, "Is my overall lifestyle healthy?" That simple question often leads to much better choices. And finally, there's one question almost everyone asks after watching a video like this: so, how many eggs should I actually eat? The answer isn't the same for everyone, and that's exactly what we'll discuss next. After hearing all of this, there's one question almost everyone asks: so, how many eggs should I actually eat? It's a fair question. And the honest answer is, there isn't one perfect number that works for every person. That's because your nutritional needs depend on many different factors: your age, your activity level, your overall eating pattern, your medical history, your medications, and your personal health goals all play an important role. For many healthy adults, moderate egg consumption can comfortably fit into a balanced diet. Some people enjoy 1 egg a day, others may include 2 eggs in a protein-rich breakfast several times a week. The important point isn't chasing a magic number, it's building a healthy eating pattern you can maintain for years. Now let's talk about the people who should be a little more careful. If you've been diagnosed with heart disease, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, familial hypercholesterolemia, or another medical condition, your healthcare provider may recommend a personalized nutrition plan based on your specific needs. That's why internet advice should never replace professional medical guidance. Another mistake people make is believing they must eat eggs every single day to stay healthy. That's simply not true. Healthy aging comes from variety. Some mornings you might choose eggs, another day it could be Greek yogurt, oatmeal with nuts, cottage cheese, or a protein-rich smoothie. The healthiest diet isn't repetitive, it's balanced. Think about your weekly eating pattern, not just one breakfast. If most of your meals include vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats, and regular physical activity, then you're already moving in the right direction. Eggs simply become one helpful tool, not the entire toolbox. And that brings us to the most important lesson of today's video. Because the biggest takeaway has never been about eggs alone. It's about how small daily habits quietly shape your health over the years. We've covered cholesterol, heart health, protein, brain function, weight management, the healthiest cooking methods, and the biggest mistakes people make. So, what is the final truth about eggs after the age of 50? The answer is surprisingly simple. Eggs are neither the miracle food some people claim, nor the dangerous food many once feared. For most healthy adults, they can be a nutritious source of high-quality protein, vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients when enjoyed as part of a balanced lifestyle. But here's the lesson I hope you'll remember long after this video ends. Good health is never built by one food. It's built by your daily habits. The breakfast you choose, the walk you take, the sleep you get, the stress you manage, the water you drink, the strength exercises you perform, and the consistency you maintain over months and years. Those small choices quietly shape your future. Instead of asking, "Should I be afraid of eggs?" ask yourself, "Am I creating healthy habits that my future self will thank me for?" Because that's the question that truly matters. Science will continue to evolve, nutrition advice will continue to improve, but one principle never changes. A balanced diet, regular movement, quality sleep, stress management, and routine medical checkups remain some of the strongest foundations of healthy aging. If today's video helped you better understand the truth about eggs after 50, please support the channel by leaving a like, subscribing, and sharing this video with someone who still believes the old myths about eggs. And remember, healthy aging isn't about being perfect, it's about making one better decision today, then repeating it tomorrow. Because small habits, practiced consistently, can create extraordinary results over time. Thank you for watching, stay healthy, stay active, and I'll see you in the next video. This video is for educational purposes only, and is not intended as medical advice. The information shared is based on general knowledge and should not replace professional medical guidance. Always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional before making any health decisions.